Okay, so for this week's whatever the hell this series is, we're taking a look at another one of my absolute favourite Commander EDH decks, High Seas Husbands, which is, not to admit it, this is in here because I'm bringing this with me on Friday, and friend of the channel Tori is trading for this, and friend of the channel Maya is playing on trading for Asphalt Cornucopia, so I'm keeping them in here so I don't forget them. So, this deck then is, as you can probably guess from the name and this top card, a Malcolm and Breeches deck. And then it has Malcolm and Breeches, and Malcolm and Breeches, and Malcolm and Breeches. So, first things first, let's look at what all these solid Malcolms and Breeches do. Then we'll get to the fun stuff, because this is kind of a Commander Madness deck. It can work without them, but it does wacky things with them. So, first things first, Malcolm. Whenever one or more pirates deal combat damage to your opponents, I get a trade token for each opponent dealt damage. So potentially I'm looking at... I know that this isn't combat damage, it's damage in general, which can get wacky. Now, Breeches is the same thing, but I instead exile the top card of that opponent's library. I can play them this turn, and spend mana or any colour. And Arthur is trying to eat the tripod. So cut that out. So basically, steal opponent's cards, and so basically both of these out, I get damage through with a pirate, I can steal an opponent's card, and I get a trader token to help cast it. But what else can I do? Next pair of Malcolm and Breeches then. Whenever I cast my second spell each turn, I investigate. I get a clue token that can potentially draw me cards from my own deck as well. And Breeches, I also can sacrifice an artifact, either a clue token or a trader token, ordinarily. Flip a coin, and either copy the spell, or deal damage equal to its mana value to any target, including players, which basically means that it's a win-win. You know, I either get to cast, I either get a second version of that spell, or I get to trigger my commanders. Onto Malcolm and Breeches pair number 3. The Ixalan ones. This Malcolm, when it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a chorus counter, draw one, ditch one, and then if there's enough cards, I can start casting stuff for free. It's the least useful one, but I didn't want to leave Breeches without his boyfriend. You know how it is. So with this Breeches, whenever a pirate control attacks, I get a trade token, type creature can't block, or an impulse draw. Since I'm going to be attacking with pirates, usually 2 or 3 at a time, I can reliably get all of these. First strike is also a useful ability to have. Now for one of the recent additions that I worked out will be really wacky with this deck, Indomitable Creativity. Now what this is meant to be is a board wipe that eliminates your opponent's dangerous shit. What it actually is destroy X target artifacts and or creatures, which will be my own trader tokens. For each opponent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards on the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players put the exiled card onto the battlefield and then shuffle. So basically, if I've got a dozen trader tokens out, I pay 3 mana from lands, I blow up 6 of them, well I sack 6 for the casting cost, I blow up 6 for the spell, and then I just get 6 creatures from deck, effectively. Let's take a look at the best hit for that, then. Kedis, Emberclaw Familiar. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. So basically, if one of my pirates gets... if my commanders get damaged through as a pirate, they hit everyone. And so I only need one open opponent to swing at, and I trigger both my commanders 3 times. Extremely useful. And clearly not what this was intended for, but, you know, cards that benefit commanders, like it's always fun in partner commander decks, but where they weren't necessarily meant to go. So, next up then, Fathom Fleet Souljack. Attacks deals damage to the player or planeswalker attacking equal to the number of artifacts you control. So this guy can potentially hit for pretty big. And more importantly than that, it's a pirate getting damage through, which triggers which procs the commanders. Aqueous Form, enchanted creature can't be blocked. Hit either commander with this, he quids in. Street Urchin. There's some stuff further down that steals opponent's card, which is why this is in here. I used to run Golden Bombardment, which is the same thing, but the damage comes from Golden Bombardment. With this, my commanders deal the damage, and so it does the same thing as stealing someone's creature and shooting it at them, but it also procs my commanders. Lightning Ring Crew. Tap it, deal 1 damage to each opponent. Note that it's a pirate. Whenever I cast a pirate spell, it untaps. So if I get a lot of pirate spells out, I can just start going nuts with this. Corsair's a run bar. Target Goblin Local Pirate can't block this turn. There's an Orc token in the token bank. I don't think I ever used it. That's not what this is in there for. Viridian Longbow. Equip creature taps to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. It's in there if pirates getting damage through. Up next then, Slippery Scoundrel. If I control 10 opponents, which is nice and easy, it has hexproof and can't be blocked. Another way of getting damage through on a pirate. Stormfleet Sprinter. Haste can't be blocked. Another way of damage through on a pirate. Departed Deckhand. Can't be blocked by spirits. And can pass on to other creatures. Rather handy. Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro. Can't be blocked by anything big. Deals combat damage, it does something, it does other stuff. In theory I could run it as a partner with Malcolm, but you know, it's Malcolm and Breeches, man. It isn't Malcolm and, you know, it isn't Ghost of Ramirez and Breeches, so. South Coast Sailor. It's always fun running backgrounds with partner commanders. Because it gives them both, but whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, this creature can't be blocked this turn. So it reliably gets commander damage through, and reliably procs the commander, and if Kedis is out, it hits everyone. Cursed Mirror. We're getting onto the theft stuff here. This can become a copy of any creature on the battlefield that has haste. So basically, I get a copy of whatever the biggest threat on the board is. Very fun. Coercive Recruiter. Whenever a pirate enters the battlefield, I steal someone else's creature. Treasure Nabber. Now, Treasure Nabber is responsible for one of my all-time favourite interactions with this deck, where a friend of the channel, Toru, tapped her Replicating Ring for mana when it had 7 counters on it, which meant that Replicating Ring for context, which meant that with Treasure Nabber, I get control of the end of my next turn, so it procced on my upkeep and gave me the 8 replicated rings. Very fun blunder. So, Dream Thieves Bandana. When a quick creature does combat now to a player, look at the top card of the library, then exile it face down. For as long as it remains exiled, I can play it, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. Very fun. Just yet more theft for my theft, basically. If I'm already getting damage through, I may as well start stealing shit as well. While I already steal shit. So, Key to the Vault, I basically get to dig through my deck and cast something for free whenever I hit someone. Rather fun. Crafty Gut Purse. This is a Discal Tokens. I've only ever played against the Marit Lage deck once, and I didn't have this in hand, unfortunately, when they Marit Laged. But my god, if I did, that is the best possible token to steal. You know, like, you flash this one in response to Dockside, Extortionist, or any token generator, basically, and suddenly, you get all the tokens instead. Lovely card. Zara Renegade Recruiter. Whenever she attacks, you can just steal a creature from your opponent's hand and have it swing at them. I think we're getting in some of the proxies. There's a couple of proxies in this deck. We'll get there when we get there. Wand of Wonder. I pay 4 mana and tap it, and I can steal a card from 1 to 3 opponents. Well, basically get a... Well, I can steal an instant or sorcerer from 1 to 3 opponents. Thieving Skydive, one of the few non-pirates, just because there's no Soul Ring in this deck, but this way I just get someone else's Soul Ring instead, so it all works out. Gem Cutter Buccaneer. All my treasures can do more things. I can start using my treasures to hit people, basically. Fringe, but, you know, if I've already got them, I may as well use them. I may as well give myself as many uses for them as possible. That's what this deck is all about. Coastline Marauders. Another way of getting damage through, basically. Spectral Sailor. It's a nice simple one. Flash. Can get cards from it. Crucially, it's a pirate with flying, so it's better at getting damage through. Warcat Marauder is a similar kind of thing. little more expensive, but it can also debuff someone else's creature. Catsail Skirmisher. Same kind of thing. It's flying, give some of my other stuff flying too. On there to the proxies. Pirated copy. Because, you wouldn't download a trading card. I can basically create a pirate copy of any creature on the battlefield. I fucking love this card. Just from player perspective alone. Captivating Crew. Because, come on. What crew is more captivating than this? Steal an opponent's creature, untap it, against haste. And, yeah, I've stolen several commanders with this. They donated the compasses to the treasure hunt and got the full share. Zephyr Singer. Nice simple one. It's a pirate. It has Convoke, and I can get... Basically, it can potentially cast this for free by tapping creatures, and... well, give those creatures flying. More ways of getting damage through. Vargas Wrath is a very fun one, because the intent is that he is the commander, basically. But if you run partner commanders, that's potentially twice as many commanders being cast from the command zone. So your pirates get a lot bigger, a lot quicker with this guy swinging. Very fun. Captain Storm. Whenever I create treasure tokens, which this deck is going to be doing quite a bit of, I get 1/1 counters as well. My pirates doing things makes my pirates better, basically. Siren Storm Tamer, nice simple one. It's a pirate, it has flying, and I can stack it to counter something. Daring Piracy, another classic one. Being in combat, I get a bonus pirate, which triggers anything that needs pirates to enter the battlefield, and can potentially give me enough creatures to get damage through somewhere. Recent edition, Reckless Lackey, First Strike Haste, and I can stack it for card draw on trade token if it is going to be killed. Not too shabby. Roaming Throne. Yeah. So I have had this and Molten Echoes as the second Roaming Throne out before, and I was able to get damage through with the 3 opponents, meaning that I got the top 3 cards of each of their decks. And, just for good measure, I also created 9 treasure tokens. Fucking love this card. Just, if you're building Kindred, it probably has a space in there just because it can do so much wacky nonsense. Molten Echoes. Basically, more pirates to pirate, but they don't stick around. But with Double Down, they do, because, pirates are outlaws, and the non-pirates in this deck are all other kinds of outlaw. I believe they're all rogues, so that's the double everything. Reflections of Litjara copies all my pirates. Onto the interaction suite now. Blast Act wipes out creatures, and from Mutineer, everything gets thresholded. Well, basically thresholds things. Vandal Blast can blow up all the artifacts except for mine. Negate your standard counterspell. Chaos Warp. If I'm running red, I'm likely going to have Chaos Warp in the interaction suite because it's just a fun one. So I have to excuse the background noise. This is being filmed in an actively in use kitchen. It is what it is. So, Gale's Redirection, classic counterspell, also lets you steal the spell that you just countered. It's a nice one. Hornswoggle, it's in here because it's a pirate themed counterspell. I don't need any reason beyond that. Chain Reaction. Your basic blow up creatures. Well, your basic creature based board wipe. Curse of the Swine lets me exile a bunch of creatures. It means that I can basically pour my treasure tokens into the X cost and wipe the board somewhat. Look out for Dispersal. Nice simple one. Cost 1 less to cast. And can be expensive for my opponent to get the shit they want to do. Fairy Cannonade. It hits all non-pirates. Counter spell. It counters spell. Admiral's Order. Nice simple one. Counter target spell. It potentially costs 1 mana if I've already swung that turn, which is likely. Catsail Larcenist. This basically turns 1 permanent each opponent controls into a treasure token. Very fun. Brainstorm. Draw 3, put 2 cards. You know what Brainstorm does. Onto the draw suite with Brainstorm Reconnaissance Mission. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Indomitable. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. The rest doesn't matter. No intention of crewing this ship. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. The same thing 3 times, effectively. And finally, Vanquisher's Banner. Pirates get +1/+1. Whenever I cast a pirate, I draw a card. So, onto the mana base, starting with the jewels. We have River Glide Pathway / Lava Glide Pathway. Is it Boiler Works, Thundering Falls, Cascade Bluffs, Ferris Lake, Sulphur Falls, Stormcarved Coast, rather nice Shivan Reef, Command Tower, Scalding Tarn, which has been here for a while. It's been here since before I had good hits for it, basically. For a while I had this and could only fetch a basic with it. Very sad. Path of Ancestry, Molten Tributary, Trading Centre, Frostbowl Snarl, Access Tunnel, another way of getting things unblockable, Rogue's Passage, same thing. Terramorphic Expanse, and Evolving Wilds for fetching, Mystic Sanctuary for doing Mystic Sanctuary things. There's some decent instant sorceries in there that can be fun to get a second use out of. And this time, I haven't matched the basics because it fits the pirate vibe better. So we have Island, 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 and Mountain, 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 Mountain. So, this deck is one of my absolute faves, and it scales well to the rest of the pod. Like, if everyone else is running powerful decks, you're going to be stealing powerful cards. If everyone else is running some lower-powered stuff, you're stealing lower-powered stuff. You know, it basically means that whatever you're up against, you're about on the level with it. But you're also stealing more of it than they're potentially getting. Token bank for this one then, a bunch of treasures, Ixalan block, just because I can. The Orc Army, never used. Elemental, I don't think the relevant card is actually in the deck anymore. And then the legit versions of Captivating Crew and Pirated Copy. I still think one of the best things with Pirated Copy is to copy a creature token that someone has a bunch of. So that way, they swing with those at someone, 2 or 3 of them get through, you're drawing 2 or 3 cards. Peak shenanigans. So, this has been another EDH deck profile, this time on Malcolm and Breeches, High Seas Husbands. We'll see you next time for either Aurelia or Ginny Faye, I haven't decided yet. See ya.